This is the Playbook, your favorite show focused on girls and women's sports. I am Candace. This is Kay. Please follow us on all social media platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, X, all the good stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Please engage. Thank you to everybody who's already engaged. They be going in the comments.
Yeah, shout out to y'all.
I love the feedback. It's wonderful. But we appreciate all of you for tuning in and watching us. But we're going to go ahead with our full court press to catch up on all the sports, women's sports news. It may be basketball heavy today because, as always, women's basketball seems to lead all the conversation in women's sports nowadays. But we're going to first start off with soccer, head over to the NWSL. So let's start off with, there was some controversy that happened in the NWSL earlier this year, or as the season started, where Barbara Banda was the victim of some abuse, some verbal abuse at one of the NWSL games. I don't want to say that it's something that we in soccer that's not seen, but for it to be in the NWSL and to be at an arena in the States and all that the NWSL has built itself up to be is something that we do not want at all.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We definitely don't want it. And I think the situation, it was against Gotham. I think it was handled poorly because the way that they phrased the statement, it made it very much seem like the fan got to stay. Where I'm all for, like, if you're putting a player in that position and you're making those comments, you need to be out of there immediately. So yeah, it's no place for it. And then she's already facing so much online. There's so many things being said and so much being questioned, and it's just like, at what point, like, just let it go,
right?
Like, if you're going to say it once, and then if whatever you're saying gets proven wrong, let it go.
Right.
How long are we going to keep harping on that? And we're starting to see that conversation that's surrounding other players and other sports. And I've been seeing some things, and I'm just like, where did this come from? Like,
yeah.
Why are we starting this conversation everywhere nowadays? So
yeah. The NWSL did release a statement. We'll put it up on the screen for people to read. But essentially, they're going to be investigating the comments, the fans, XYZ. And as always, like you just said, it's just not needed. And, it's just maybe we get more in depth in it as, we go along this year. It's just this huge controversy. People have made how a woman looks or supposed to look a part of. Let's just hit pause on that. Yeah. And it's for Barbara Banda to already have to deal with it all just because she doesn't fit the model of femininity that I guess is expected or people want. She has to face this type of verbal abuse. And in men's sports, when it happens, you see a lot of the men's soccer players, they face a lot of racial abuse. They kick the fans out, or the hope is that they do. In some cases that they don't. And in the NBA, we see fans getting kicked out. So come on, NWSL, investigate.
Do better.
There's no need for it. And if any of the players are faced with it, just remove them and allow the players, especially our great female athletes, to compete at their peak abilities without all of the hatred.
Yes.
Moving right along. We got a new name in the NWSL. There was another controversy about, what was it?
Boss Nation.
Boss Nation. And everybody, that marketing way, it just did not get a lot of fans.
There was nobody had any brain cells left when they were making that rollout.
No. The rollout was not good, so they had to go to a complete name change. So obviously Boston is going to have a new expansion NWSL team. So they are no longer Boss Nation. They are now Boston Legacy FC. What do you think about that name?
No.
Okay.
I'll say this. I seen somebody comment, and this is the one that I completely agree with. Why does all female or women's sports team have to be like so legacy? And then I see somebody like Spirit. I was like, yeah, like I kind of hate it.
It's giving like cheer and like achievement and like, oh my God, progress, women play sports.
And they're like uplifting and they're like pride. And I was like, yeah, like I kind of hate it. But better than Boss Nation, because like that was just stupid. Like, let's be serious. Like, you could call your fan base that or something. Like Boss Nation, like that's cute as a fan.
Look at you,
like,
utilize that marketing. Hey,
I'm telling you, like, put me in the marketing room. I need it.
Hire Girls Only Sports. We're giving you free game.
Like Boss Nation, like that's what you call a fan base. Like, you don't call a team that. Like, that's ridiculous. But Boston Legacy FC. Okay,
I'm so mad now. Now you didn't ruin. Now I'm critiquing every women's sports team now to see.
Think about it.
Some kind of uplifting message a part of it, because
always
now that's the next team is gonna be the Texas Upliftings.
Yeah, right. Hate it.
Oh no, but they got a new name, so shout out to them. Once they get that together, hopefully they can get players to play. And go on about their business. So then we're going to go into some of our NWSL Power Rankings. It's early in the season. We're on week 3. But not much has been able to shake. It's really kind of hard to gauge where teams are because they're heading into international break. So I'm going to toss it to you, Kay. Break it down for us about a couple of teams that we should watch out for early in the season.
Right. I was like, it's like you said, it's real early going into international break. It's that time. Like, if things ain't clicking early, still plenty of time in the season to get it together. Right now, I'm looking at Kansas City. They're just continuing what they did last year. Timo Chawinga can't stop her. I did hear a rumor possibly going overseas, going to go play with her sister at Lyon, but that's just a rumor for now.
That's going to have to be another deeper conversation.
Yeah, that's a rumor, so I think that would hurt them a lot. But Dabinia, Michelle Cooper, she looks fantastic. She got another call up to the USA team. Mm-hmm. She's in great form, and I think Michelle Cooper is going to be a menace this year. So I'm definitely, they're number one on my list right now. Kansas City, I think they're doing good in the transition, especially doing good in the build up. And then second, I'll just give you top two. Orlando. Orlando, I think they're just still riding the high, and then
for sure,
you know what I mean. You can't really. It's gonna be hard to break them, and the reason I don't put them at 1, is because I feel like they are struggling a little bit on the offensive end. They've not had any goals in last game. They didn't have any goals within the run of play. One was off a set piece, and the other was a penalty kick from Marta. So I think I would like to see more in that, a little bit more transition, a little more this, a little more that. You know what I mean? So,
but it's still early.
Again, it's still early. Like I said, it's still early, so we'll see. But those are the two teams for me, much like last season, that has hit the ground running. Still undefeated for both of them. So.
For sure. So we're going to keep you guys up to date on all things NWSL and get our weekly rankings out so you can see where Girls Only Sports have these teams going. And like I said, international break is coming soon. So the USWNT, the U.S. Women's National Team, they play Brazil in a couple of friendlies coming up, right? So we should get a good look at what these teams look like and all the new players fit. I did see Sophia Smith show up at one of the NWSL games.
Oh, yeah, I did see that too.
Yeah, her and a little baby bump. And then shout out to Alex Morgan. She had her baby too.
Alex did have her baby. Shout out to Becky, who got her jersey retirement, or not her jersey retirement, her retirement party at the Portland game the other day.
And not they all having a reunion.
Yes, I was like, I love it.
So that's our NWSL coverage. Let's full court press right on the head. Let's swing over to the WNBA. We're going to focus on the New York Liberty. One good thing that happened, Brianna Stewart signs a 1-year deal. I think everybody knew that was the case. Some of us who like drama probably would have held out a little bit, like, what is Stewie doing? Right. But the big deal about this is all the players kind of collectively have their deals end in 2026 because there is a huge CBA collective bargaining agreement negotiation that's going to happen where 2026 could It can be anywhere from a work stoppage to a complete rearrangement.
We gonna lock out?
Right. It can be lockout to complete realignment of what the WNBA looks like in terms of media deal, player salaries, protections, all that stuff. So we'll probably have an episode exclusive on what those CBA negotiations are going to look like. But Stewie signed her 1-year deal, so she's going to be back with the Liberty. A sad note with the Liberty, but Nyjah Laney had surgery on her knee, so when I saw it, it said she was going to be out. But then it said like 6 to 8 months. And I was like, whoa.
What happened?
What happened? Yeah. So now I kind of understand why the New York Liberty made the moves that they did, bringing in Natasha Cloud, re-signing Maureen Johannes, maintaining their core, Jonquel, Stewie, Sabrina, Sably, all those players except for Kayla Thornton, who headed to the Valkyries. So it kind of made sense, but they're going to miss Nyjah Laney because she is very much needed, a dog, and she's their edge player too. So we wish her a speedy recovery. Just sad that we're going to miss her for that length of time. Hope these knees in basketball, listen.
Gotta protect the knees.
We gotta protect the knees. And still staying with the Liberty on a final note with the team, $80 million practice facility being built in Brooklyn. The Size, who own the Brooklyn Nets as well as the New York Liberty, have announced an $80 million practice facility exclusive for the New York Liberty. This is the turning point. I mean, if
I'm like, this is
a separator. Like,
this is the standard. This is going to become the standard, and if you're not meeting that standard, then I'm not coming there. Basically, I feel like that's about how it's about to be.
That's basically it. The Valkyries have a multi-million-dollar one. Seattle, Indiana announced theirs, and obviously the Aces kind of started it all off with Mark Davis building their $40 million practice facility. So it's just a new wave, and it's warranted. But shout out to the players and the ownership of New York. They went through a lot. But the Size, buying the team and getting them to Brooklyn and actually putting money into them, I think it's a wonderful thing, and obviously the next step for the WNBA. So Liberty got a lot of stuff going on. Let's still keep it to basketball and swing right ahead. Listen, we were enjoying the Final Four, or March Madness, heading up to the Final Four. Everything's going smooth. Obviously, the Juju news hurt us, but we've seen some really good matchups, and we're just enjoying everything. However, the transfer portal, let me ask you this question. How do you feel about the transfer portal being open during March Madness?
I think it's a big distraction. Like, what is 2 more weeks? 2-3 more weeks.
Right.
Close it up. I don't think it's very wise. It's very distracting, and there's a lot of players that probably are like, before the season, they could be playing in the tournament. I already know I'm entering the transfer portal, but now it's open, and now I can't have these conversations yet because I'm in the tournament. I can't announce,
Right.
So I don't think that's wise. Even if you wait until maybe now, like when we're headed into the Final Four, like, okay, like,
there has to be like a moratorium. Like, if your team gets to the Sweet 16 or something, you can't announce it. I know for some of the seniors and things like that, it gets difficult because what do they have, like a day or two to announce if they're going to enter in the WNBA draft? But the portal being open during the tournament in collegiate sports, crazy. I think there needs to be some type of rule and regulation around that because it is very distracting.
It is.
And we're sitting, enjoying or trying to enjoy the Elite Eight. The big news hits. Olivia Miles from Notre Dame, one of their star guards, not only decides to forego her senior year, which is not surprising, entering the WNBA draft, which isn't surprising to me, but entering in the transfer portal.
I think that's more shocking than her foregoing the draft.
Right.
Like, I think that was always a 50-50. If she went, you're taking her, but also her entering the transfer portal, it was like, whoa, because it was one of those things where people was like, okay, she doesn't declare for the draft. Her and Hannah got one more year.
Right.
She said, who? Hannah and who?
Right. Not me.
Not
Not
I.
me. I don't even know where to start to break this down because I'm like, I hear a lot of the conversation. It's like, yeah, she can make more. Like, end it. NIL in college is the same thing as endorsements in the pros. So she'll just NIL and salary are not the same thing. Her NIL money is just going to translate into endorsements in the pros. It is still going to be there. Let's just get that straight. Now, I understand why she would want to stay another year. Obviously, she had a huge injury a couple of years ago. She just hurt her ankle. I think defensively, she got exposed a little bit. There were certain times in crunch time she couldn't be on the floor. Ivy didn't have her on the floor, and she's going to have to become a better defender in that regard and probably get her draft stock up. She's going to have to do a Haley Van Lith. At the same time, leaving Notre Dame, I don't want to speculate about why, but watching that game against TCU, I was like, I can understand why she's entering the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And
it's just some things where you're just like,
it just felt different. And I don't want to put it on, Niele Ivy has a tough job, and she's just the head of one of these programs where the standard is different.
Yeah.
At, another university outside of probably your big 4, big 5, and Notre Dame is probably one of those big 4, big 5, getting to 4 straight Sweet 16s is an accomplishment. Yeah. And Notre Dame
bust.
is getting to Final Four. Is competing for national championships. That's the metric. And especially with the talent she had on that roster with Hannah Hidalgo, Sonia Citron, Maddie Westbelt, like, they had a talented roster, but for some reason couldn't put it all together. And Olivia Miles leaving, I'm sorry, even as fans, it just raises an eyebrow of not necessarily what's going on in that team, but how is a player like Olivia Miles at a place where she wants to transfer?
Right.
Her ooh. Olivia Miles, ooh. But she's not the only one.
No, girl. No.
She's not the only one. Tanaya Latson from Florida State. She was the leading scorer in women's college basketball. She's entering the transfer portal. A thing about her is I think she averaged like 26 points a game this season. She's really, really tight. Played on the same team as Raven Johnson at South Carolina. So everybody's kind of knocking on that door and saying, hey, Dawn, you making a call?
Because Dawn said she making calls. She said, I don't care about what tournament we in. I'm making calls.
Yeah, she sure did. Her team.
She said, hold up. Wait a minute. Wait for me.
Dawn said she is making phone calls. So when we see Tanaya in the South Carolina uniform, we talked about previously Cody McMahon. We understood, like, hey, we're Columbus based. Yeah. We get it, Cody. Like, you did what you needed to do at OSU, and you want to compete deep in the tournament. So we completely understand. I think the thing now is where, like, I'm gonna put it to you. Where you think Cody should go?
It's SEC. I'm thinking LSU. I've seen a lot of LSU conversation, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, you think LSU? Here
I am. LSU, and I think what's her name come back.
Flage? You think Flage come back? Because that was a question too. I was like, because Kim Mulkey kind of made it sound like Flage was thinking about entering into the draft.
With love, one more.
If Flage comes back, then Kim Mulkey is going to have to do some damage in the portal. And getting Cody McMahon could be that link, even though I kind of want Cody with Coach O at Ole Miss.
Do you? Yeah. Honestly, I can see that.
It's still SEC.
I can see that. I would say SEC for her, I feel like is a good, I think that's a good place for her to be. So either one of those teams I think will be a great fit. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I'm excited to see where she does go, and I'm hoping that she's able to have a successful year. Yeah. And make a nice run because, like I said, her freshman year and her sophomore year, Cody came out and she was a dog. Like not knocking her junior. Her junior has been great too, but I just remember like the dominance that you was like, oh, she's like, this is the one, like she gonna get OSU where they need to be,
right.
and I think
and she's
she did
going
her
like
part.
she got a legit lottery pick. Like that's like she's first round.
Yeah, exactly. So I think anywhere she goes, I think it's just gonna up her stock a little bit, and I think getting into a team that's able to make those runs and able to get past that
the second round. Like, let's keep it real.
That round of 32. We ain't even got a cool name for it. It's just round of 32.
We can't even get to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
At home.
So yeah, I think that's only going to benefit her. So I'm excited to see where she goes and what she's able to do in the future.
Shout out to Cody. And then Samaya Smith from LSU. She had a really good tournament. She battled really big against Lauren Betts. She entered into the portal. Keomi McMiller, who's a dog offensively. She's just a dog. She can score all over the floor from Rutgers. She's only a freshman. She entered into the portal. So if some teams are able to get
something
moving, like I'm trying to find the right words, but there are some players in this portal that can really change the direction of a lot of teams and build even more contenders. But Mark Girls Only Sports is one of the ones that say, please close this portal during the tournament, or at least
can we open the ballot? Who wants this? At least Sweet 16. Like, start it in the Sweet 16. Okay, I'm gonna let you have it, and then it'll run.
Right. We trying to watch USC UConn, and here come the Olivia Miles news, and it's like,
not right now, Olivia.
Like, come on, sis.
Please
give us a break.
Yeah. I'm already stressed enough with this.
But that was our full court press. Pressing on along. But now let's head on to X's and O's. This is going to be exclusively focused on what we're waiting for. We waited all season for. We're down to the final four. We're not even going to go through all of our brackets and all that stuff to see how we did, because it's been, even though it's 3 number 1 seeds and a 2 seed, busted.
I'll say the only thing that busted me was that bottle. Notre Dame is not where they need to be. So that's it. That's the only one.
About that. Yeah. True. Well, mine was Notre Dame and USC. So yeah. But I had
you know me.
Yeah. Boo.
Never doubted you, UConn. Never doubted you, girls.
So the first semifinal matchup, we get Texas, South Carolina, which is seeming to be, I've seen it online and I have to steal it. It's given Aces Liberty. Like, how many times do we
like
have
that.
to see?
They're like, run it back.
Like, keep running it back. This is the 4th time these two teams have played this year. So South Carolina leads them 3-1. They did beat Texas in the SEC championship. So obviously a matchup both of these teams know. It's essentially playing a team that you've seen already. You know everybody's strengths, their weaknesses. It's basically going to boil down to who's going to be able to execute the best. Madison Booker, Bree Hall is probably going to be the matchup that everybody needs to watch out for. Madison Booker looks like a redux of, I'm trying to think of her woman counterpart, because I don't want to give these players male counterpart. She's given like Simone Augustus a little bit. That
okay, I do like that. Yeah,
you know
I
do
like that comparison. Yeah.
Bree Hall is going to have to bring her. They got a little beef going on about, you can't guard me, I can guard you. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to toss it to you on this. What will Texas have to do to beat South Carolina?
Pray. No, I don't know. We said it was going to be hard at this point to slow down South Carolina. I don't know. I don't know if that's very true right now, but I don't know if that's really true. I think it's going to come down to Madison Booker. She's going to have to put on a performance. She's going to have to show up big, and it's going to come down to who can make baskets. Let's put it that way for both teams.
Let's just put it. That's what it is. Like, we can speculate.
Who can knock down their shots?
Who can make baskets?
That's who's going to win this one. Like, that's all it's going to come down to.
Yeah, I'm with you 100 grand. I think and I've been adamant saying this, the South Carolina offense is nowhere near where I expected it to be at this time of the season. It's still there's no fluidity to it. It can get really stagnant. Teams have game plan to beat them. However, as beatable as they may look, you have to beat them, and nobody has yet in the tournament. So you can strategize all you want to. I found it interesting against Duke, who I kind of mentioned that was the team that I thought could take out South Carolina. Dawn Staley rode with her seniors who get a lot of heat all year. Of like, you got these super sophomores and freshmen on the bench, and like, why do you play your seniors? Why do you start them? Yada yada yada. Them seniors played the entire fourth quarter because she just needed buckets, execution, and it wasn't pretty, but she rode with them. And so that's just a testament that she knows what she's doing. What she say? We need to score one more point than them, and they technically did. It was 2 points.
And I would say shout out to Raven at the end of late in that game. I feel like she stepped up huge and handled her business, put the team on her back, and made it count. Like, made every possession she was trying to make count, and even on defense. Good. It was just a great performance in the towards the end of the game for her.
Yeah, and Raven gets a lot of heat too, and I'm probably one of those ones. I want to see her develop way more offensively because she has the capability to score. But when you have a pure point guard that you can legit put the ball in their hands and be comfortable, and your team is going to be settled, any college coach, pro coach, doesn't matter, would want that on your team. And I think she showed that in that game. So are we thinking South Carolina, like, that's who's going to win, or could Texas pull the mini upset, even though they're the number 1 overall seed?
Right.
Or no, UCLA is the number 1 overall seed, but who's winning this game? Texas, South Carolina.
I'm going South Carolina. I know South Carolina's been struggling. And it's struggling. They struggling to get these wins
that
out
where struggle.
It's struggling where in years past it was like South Carolina was running through this tournament and maybe got a challenge Final Four and in that championship game. But I think it's going to take a lot for both teams to pull out a win right here. But I'm going South Carolina.
Same. Pat Summitt used to say, survive in advance. That's all you have to do in the tournament. And until you beat South Carolina, who cares how they win, how beatable they look? It really doesn't matter until someone beats them. And I expect at least in this game, we'll get to our championship prediction, but at least in this game, I expect those players we've been waiting for their breakout. Tessa Thompson, Joyce Edwards, who's kind of struggled a few times in a few games, Chloe Kitts and Nia Fagan, who's been playing extraordinarily well. I think this is the game they start piecing it all together. Yeah. And our other semifinal matchup, we have UConn and UCLA. If there is a difference between the experiences of these two programs, this is UCLA's first time in a Final Four. This is UConn's 24th time in a Final Four. Obviously, they've made a home in the Final Four over the years and like the preeminent program. And, we mentioned it before, we get Lauren Betts, we get Paige Beckers, but who are some other players you're looking to? I know one who, if she plays like she played in the Elite Eight, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Girl is nasty.
Sarah Strong.
Listen, what was she on?
Listen, she took it off the bounce. That damn near fadeaway 3. I'm like, was that Paige? I was like, who did that?
Listen, Kiki.
And then Kiki ain't scored for 3 quarters.
Woo, Kiki, girl. Sarah Strong put in work.
Yeah, she put in work, and she gonna have to put in work again on this UCLA game. I'm looking to Jonna. They need to have bodies on Lauren Betts. I think if you can disrupt her game, I think a lot of teams have been doing good with disrupting Lauren Betts, but
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be all 4 quarters. That's what it's going to come down to. It's got to be all 4 quarters. You have to have somebody on her. You have to bring a double. You have to, but then still recovery.
Right.
A balance act. It's going to be a beautiful balance act to be able to stop Lauren Betts. I'm looking to AZ.
She got to shoot.
Gino. Shout out to Gino for giving her the ball. Keep feeding her. But she got to knock him down.
She got to shoot. She got to knock him down.
AZ,
Listen,
you got to knock him down.
Paige and Gino was about to cuss AZ out when she passed up that shot underneath the basket, wide open. Wide open. Yeah. But she got the message.
She did, and I think it was good for her to see a couple go down late. But hearing her talk about it and just saying next one, you know what I mean? Like just having that short term memory. I think it's a good moment. It's a good mindset to have, to not let that define how this is going to go for her. I think she has to step up and she has to knock down those shots for them to be able to get down, because again, it was like one of those moments where Paige kind of started off slow and Sarah really carried the weight of that team in that first half, like damn near double-double at halftime. One rebound away from a double-double at halftime. It was nasty. Then she kind of slowed down and Paige picked it up. If AZ was knocking down the shot she had, like, it would have looked like a very different game to me. Right. So I think I'm looking at those three, and then on the defensive end, Jonna, just to keep that a big body on Lauren Betts, somebody that's about the same height as her. And
Caitlin Chin had a really good game too. She was getting some timely buckets.
Big game. Yes. And then for UCLA, I feel like it's going to come down to Lauren Betts. Like how she handles that pressure, because she knows they're going to send it, and being able to keep her composure. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it's going to be who's going to be the best on the court. Is it going to be Lauren? Is it going to be Paige?
Is it going to be Lauren or Paige?
They let Lauren Betts be the best on that court. I'm scared for UConn.
Yeah. And that's the thing. She's a separator. At some point, you can't guard 6'7", especially if 6'7" dominates. She can't. To me, this is a team you can't get in foul trouble like you did.
Texas did. Let me stop playing.
That's only because That's only because she's been in women's college basketball for like 8 years. That's it. She was tired.
They figured it out.
Lauren Betts different. Yeah, no.
You right. My
she
bad.
Ain't been in women's college basketball.
My bad for even comparing it.
No. She's not no grown lady. But I don't think Lauren Betts can get in foul trouble like she did against LSU. She's going to need to stay on the floor the entire game. I think Kiki Rice offensively, even though she controls the flow, she's going to have a really big offensive game, because I think they're going to have to – they shoot the three ball very, very well, but they're going to have to counter UConn's scoring ability. And as always with UConn, I'm going to stick with how I've always viewed them. UConn are front runners. You got to muck the game up. You got to make it physical. You got to make them dig it out the mud. If you get it close, that's when they get a little nervous and a little shaky. That is the thing with UConn. You got to muck it up. But if you let UConn go on a roll and start running and gunning, it's a wrap, and it can be over quick.
Very.
I already know who you got.
No, I got UConn.
You got UConn. For the sake of argument, I think Lauren Betts has the biggest game of her career in the Final Four against UConn.
You think she's going to? She has to have to? I think
both.
She has to have.
I think she has to have. I think she has to have one, and I think she's going to, because this is same thing for Paige. It's a legacy-defining game, and I don't think it's enough, especially with all the players coming and all the hype and all this good stuff. You need to make your mark. I'm akin it to what Camila Cardoso did. There was a couple of games, especially in that championship game last year. It's just dominate time. This is my team. For lack of better words, I'm the biggest one on the floor. Somebody got to stop me, and none of you can. So she has to have one of those type of performances. But like we keep saying, it's going to boil down to which player is the best for 4 quarters. Lauren Betts, Paige Beckers. You got UConn. I got UCLA. I still think Candace Parker-Kirst is still in effect. But if we get Even though we've talked about it before. We get a South Carolina, we get a UConn championship. Who you got?
Not for bracket's sake, but based on how this tournament has looked, I'm going UConn still.
Yeah.
I'm going UConn. I think all
you see it.
Oh,
this is what
where Angie at with her UConn shirt? I need Angie. I need call Angie right now. Oh, you going South Carolina?
I'm going. Hey, until somebody beats them, it ain't over until a team beats them. Now, don't get me wrong.
Right,
that UConn beat down that they put on South Carolina in South Carolina still leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a chip, too.
Woo! That was bad. It was embarrassing. It was all those things. But you can't be a champ until you beat them. And it does not matter how pretty it looks. It hasn't been pretty. It's been unrealistically tight and close and unsure. But I say when South Carolina get to the Final Four in the championship and how they're able to piece it together, I got them winning. I got them winning.
Yeah. It's going to be a good game.
We shall see. Now
and even if it ends up UCLA, I think. Yeah, I was going to say even if it ends up UCLA, Texas.
And Texas. Yeah. If it's UCLA and Texas, who you got?
I'm going UCLA.
I'm going to go Texas.
You just want to be the op so bad.
I just want to be the op so bad. But I'm going to say this. The same token with like Paige Beckers, like with Lauren Betts, I think Madison Booker too, which she could have against South Carolina, so I'm not taking that away from her. If they have these legacy-defining games where they're just the best player on the court, that's the separator too. And that's why I kind of put South Carolina over here on the side. Don't get me wrong, my Elijah Wiley is that. When she's on, she is that. But a Madison Booker, a Paige Beckers, a Lauren Betts, you win these games, especially now when your stars are stars. Yeah. Granted, it's hard to beat an entire team like South Carolina is. That's why I'm still rolling with them. But if Madison Booker is able to piece together like a 38-5, it may get a little scary.
Yeah.
But it should be fun. It's been a really good tournament. Not a lot of upsets-ish. Not a lot of buzzer beaters. Really. It kind of happened. Obviously, the Juju injury just threw, some sadness over the whole tournament. But it's been a good tournament, and we're looking forward to a really good Final Four. So we'll be back next week with a recap of what happens. Please comment in the comments either on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. Let us know who your picks are. Let us know who some of the underdogs on these teams are. Let us know what you think. We obviously do on all social media platforms. Once again, I am Candace. This is Kay. We are Girls Only Sports.